In the Donbass sector, 2 Russian troops were caught attempting to haul ammunition in a wheelbarrow. The Ukrainian side immediately launched an FPV drone. The moment they saw it racing in, the soldiers dropped everything and bolted. Seconds later, the drone slammed into the wheelbarrow packed with munitions, triggering a massive detonation. On another frontline axis, aerial reconnaissance spotted a vehicle loaded with enemy infantry. An FPV drone was dispatched on a direct collision course. It surged straight toward the target, forcing the driver into a frantic swerve. The impact struck hard, sending the vehicle careening out of control until it crashed violently. One passenger was hurled from the rear as the vehicle spun and toppled. Recon footage recorded the entire sequence, from the moment the target entered the lens, through the strike, and ending with the wreckage. Elsewhere, Ukrainian forces encircled a house, boxing the Russians inside. Crushed by pressure and gripped by fear, those trapped within chose surrender over death. Ukrainian soldiers displayed sheer courage and razor-sharp coordination. Every action was deliberate, every step calculated. What had been a supposed stronghold instantly transformed into a cage. This flawless operation was a living testament to Ukraine's resilience and unyielding resolve. Another Russian fighter, creeping along a roadside trail to rejoin his unit, had no idea a drone was already tailing him. Oblivious, he pressed on. When the rising buzz of rotors gave him away, he panicked and fled. But the FPV closed the distance in seconds, striking with deadly precision. On today's battlefield, the faintest drone hum overhead shatters any illusion of safety. A group of Russians tried to cross a collapsed bridge, hoping the ruins would shield them. Ukrainian operators watched silently. At the decisive moment, the FPV plunged straight into their path, exploding and halting the crossing cold. That shattered span became yet another failed escape. Archive footage showed how Ukraine had earlier weakened a vital logistics bridge. Special forces planted explosives beneath. Then an FPV sealed the mission by detonating the charges, toppling the structure. Russian troops attempting the crossing panicked, scattering in chaos. Successive drone strikes cut them down mid-retreat. One soldier flattened himself on the bridge, feigning death. Operators circled, baiting him with low flybys. When he refused to move, the drone lined up and detonated. Deception failed. Cameras then caught 3 Russians edging across the same destroyed bridge. The first drone struck 2 men side by side, wiping them out instantly. The third tried to crawl into the skeletal framework for cover, but the operator caught the slightest movement. Flying low and steady, the drone dove in and delivered the finishing blow. Meanwhile, 2 more enemies roared across an open field on a motorcycle. The FPV locked onto them, though hitting a speeding target is no simple task. The first strike narrowly missed, pushing the riders to accelerate. On its second run, the drone exploded close, pitching the bike sideways. The driver blacked out, while the passengers staggered forward in desperation. Supporting drones arrived, dropping pinpoint explosives onto their position. The blasts wounded, but did not finish them. Moments later, another FPV was launched. This time, the strike was flawless. A single hit ended the chase, neutralizing both. In another scene, 4 enemy soldiers overloaded a 3-wheeled motorcycle, grinding slowly across open terrain. Their speed offered no protection. The rising buzz of a drone bore down. 2 men leapt off in time, scrambling for cover. The others remained trapped. The FPV slammed into the vehicle head-on, engulfing it in fire. Recon footage chronicled the desperate ride, the sudden impact, and the fiery annihilation. Elsewhere, 3 Russians hid inside a civilian garage, thinking themselves unseen. Once confirmed, Ukrainian forces armed a drone with explosives and sent it plunging inside. The garage collapsed in flames, killing everyone within. Soon after, a hidden basement was exposed by a careless soldier. A drone swooped in, detonating in the confined chamber and wiping them out. Another Russian, convinced a civilian house would conceal him, was already tracked. The footage opens with Ukrainian special forces advancing by vehicle when suddenly an enemy FPV appeared overhead. Instantly, the soldiers reacted, slamming brakes, dismounting, and unleashing precise small arms fire. In seconds, rounds found their mark, blasting the drone mid-air before it could strike. With the danger gone, the team remounted and continued their mission without pause. Meanwhile, the Magyar Birds unit deployed recon drones that picked up 2 Russians creeping through a forest strip. Fully armed, they tried to slip unseen. Huddled under branches, they thought themselves hidden. But their position was already relayed. An FPV screamed in, striking one dead instantly. A second drone pursued the survivor. His body armor absorbed part of the blast, buying him a moment to stumble back toward his trenches. But another strike hammered directly into the trench, ending the fight. By then, the soldier had already shed his armor, leaving himself exposed. The final strike finished him. Amidst abandoned ruins, another lone Russian searched the area, unaware a kamikaze FPV was bearing down. As the drone dropped its payload, he panicked and ran, but it was too late. The FPV locked on, weaving aggressively as it closed, then erupted in a violent blast. Elsewhere, Ukraine's 414th UAV Brigade, the Birds of Magwa, chased down a Russian on a scooter. He never noticed the drone closing in from behind. The kamikaze strike obliterated him. Another soldier crawled into a basement, unarmed. This time, Ukrainian forces spared him, capturing him alive. The FPV continued its hunt, scanning trenches until locking onto another Russian. Caught off guard, he had no chance. Within seconds, the drone dived and detonated, leaving nothing but wreckage. A Russian assault group stormed forward on motorcycles, racing toward Ukrainian defenses. But a drone descended on them, forcing them to abandon their bikes and run. Before reaching cover, they were struck by a loitering munition. 2 stragglers fled another way, hiding under a tree, only to be tracked and eliminated. On the steps, a solitary infantryman inched across open ground. Moving cautiously, ears straining for sound, he tried to blend into tall grass and scattered trees. Still, Ukrainian operators had him marked. The FPV zeroed in, punched through the brush, and struck decisively, erasing him. The hit was a stark reminder. Drones dominate the skies, leaving infantry utterly exposed. Surveillance leaves no margin for survival. An FPV targeted a civilian-style Russian vehicle ferrying troops in an urban sector. One hit destroyed the car, the passengers, and the driver. Another car pushing toward the front was blasted apart. A motorcyclist on the road suffered the same fate. Even a UAZ Banka van carrying Russian soldiers was struck mid-journey. The drone's blow wiped out both the vehicle and the occupants. Follow-up footage confirmed total destruction. An abandoned APC sat by the roadside. Operators spotted the open hatch and flew a drone straight inside. The interior blast tore it apart. In separate strikes, drones dropping munitions eliminated Russian UAVs lying in ambush. A compilation highlighted dozens of such kills, systematically dismantling Russia's drone reconnaissance. Every destroyed UAV meant fewer eyes targeting Ukrainian cities and civilians. The footage then showed loitering drones hidden by roadways, neutralized before they could attack. Though Russia's ambush drone tactics are relatively new, Ukrainian surveillance proved relentless, spotting and destroying them before they could ever threaten frontline troops or civilian zones.